Welcome to another episode of Regional Review. My name is Kambowe, the correspondent for Namibia Media Holdings in the far northeastern region. In history today, it's Chaos Never Dies Day. Our first review is the story on the Rondo Town Council financial books that are said to be in a mess. The 2016 and 2017 audited financial reports of the Rondo Town Council have exposed how the town's accounts submitted to the Auditor General's office were not a true reflection of its financial position, but rather made-up numbers. The National Council's Standing Committee on Public Accounts and Economy last week heard that the Council's books indicated it had over 45 million in its bank account, while the bank balance only stood at 2 million. Another surprise was the unaccounted 46,325,802 Namibian dollars for value-added tax, as the council failed to produce documents. The local authority further failed to submit documents on the trade and the payable amounting to 3,288,911, as well as documents as to how expenditure vouchers of 3,682,503 Namibian dollars were used. The council also failed to provide documents on the over 1.5 million of surcharges received from NORAD. The committee chaired by Peter Kazongominya was left perplexed as to how the Rondo Town Council's finance department, with 30 staff members, allowed the council to turn to a consultant to prepare their financial statements at a cost of over 400,000 a year. What irked the committee was the revelation that the computer program the consultant installed for the local authority has been obsolete since 1995. The hearing showed how the town council was unable to deal with the queries raised in an Auditor General's report that pointed to poor accounting practices. Committee member Harold Kambrode described the Rondo Town Council's finance department as a burden to the local authority instead of a team that adds value. At the hearing, the Rondo Town Council's strategic finance officer Sam Nekaro, finance manager Philip Munango, and accountant Coletta Sinano could not produce the documents that the committee requested. The committee then decided to give the council 7 days to submit all the outstanding documents flagged in the audit report. Now we look at the story where the police are requesting for information which could lead to the arrest of 28-year-old Chopala Ndele, a suspect in a stock theft case involving former Namibia Defence Force Major General Thomas Hamunyela. This was confirmed by Kavango West Police Deputy Commissioner Abner Achas, who last week told Namibian Sun a warrant of arrest has been issued, but police are finding it hard to track Ndele, who has been on the run since last year, down. Ndele's disappearance has stalled Hamunyela's stock theft case, as the matter has been postponed in hopes that the police arrest him. In fact, the case was back in the Rundu Magistrates Court on 21 October, but Magistrate Helen Olaya postponed it to 21 December for further police investigations. Ndele, who is from Mutorwa village in the Kavango West region, allegedly sold the cattle to the former army commander. Also currently out on bail for another stock theft case in the same area, he absconded court proceedings and has been a wanted person by the police. Meanwhile, Hamunyela was arrested on 12 January for allegedly stealing 5 cattle. He is currently out on 5,000 bail and is represented by prominent lawyer Sisa Namanje. The state is adamant it has a strong case against Hamunyela after ear tags were found on cattle which were allegedly stolen from Sipipa Tadeusz Naironga. Kanyetu Nicholas Ndara, the police officer who testified during a bail hearing in January, told the court that they found the cattle in question with the ear tags belonging to Hamunyela, while those belonging to Nairenga were removed and some burned. One of the state witnesses is a veterinary service official whose name is known by this publication. Ndara further told the court that there appears to be a syndicate involving veterinary services officials who make ear tags available to culprits who then commit stock theft. He testified that when they inquired about the ear tags belonging to Hamunyela, they were backdated to 2017, while others were backdated to the 1st of January 2019. This, he said, is questionable as the 1st of January is a public holiday. In our last story, we look at Domingo was found guilty. After strangling his girlfriend, he transported her body 200 kilometers to Rundu and buried it in a shallow grave. The Oshakati High Court last week found Castro Domingo, 35-year-old man, guilty of the 2018 murder of Cecilia Deborah Murotwa at Mukwe. Domingo was convicted of murder with direct intent to kill, read with the provisions of the Combating of Domestic Violence Act. He was also found guilty on account of attempting to defeat or obstruct the course of justice. Domingo was, however, exonerated on a charge of robbery for throwing away Morotwa's phone to cover his tracks. Acting Judge Danny Small postponed the case to 25 November for pre-sentencing evidence. Domingo remains in police custody. The state was represented by Deputy Prosecutor General Ruben Shileka, while Domingo was represented by Leonard Chivede. Domingo was arrested after he strangled Morotwa, with whom he was in a relationship at Mukwe in February 2018, and then transporting her corpse 200 kilometers to Rundu, where he buried it in a shallow grave. He initially confessed to the crime and took the police to where he had buried the body. However, as time went by and the matter was postponed a number of times by the Rundu Magistrates Court, Domingo changed his tune and pleaded not guilty. The case was transferred to the Oshakati High Court in August last year. Prior to the transfer of the case, Domingo had tasted freedom for a number of days after the matter was provisionally struck from the roll because the state was not ready to prosecute him. He was rearrested after public outcry, which prompted the Office of the Prosecutor General to intervene.
Hello Namibia, this is your favorite girl, Top Cherry What. Are you vaccinated? If yes, a round of applause to you. If not, fear not, because we got you. Top Cherry What will be coming to a village, a town, or somewhere near you very soon to get vaccinated with you. Cool, hey? I know. Please help me so we help the rest of the nation kick out COVID. Top Cherry What? My Namibia, my country, my pride.
The Kavango regions are regarded as one of the poorest regions in this country, yet there's an abundance of resources which comprise of the abundance of the river, the fertile land, the good weather conditions. Can you just tell us, in your opinion, what you make of this and how can this thing be addressed?
Yes, thank you very much. As I was introduced, my name is Jerry Kauriu. Yes, that narrative has been a song that has been sung very loud, and we've accepted it. But I think the issue needs to be identified here is that as much as a person might be blessed with natural resources, without the skills to actually turn and work the land, it's just going to be pointless. So we need to understand why do we have dormant land, dormant whatever resources that we are blessed with, and also know what it is that we need to do in terms of working these things that are just laying there. Skills is very much important. For us to understand why we need skills is understanding our background as Kavango people. We were known to be substantial farmers, and we still are. We've worked this land to just feed our next of kin and our stomach, and that's it. Until the government steps in or until authority steps in and then starts adding necessary knowledge that would allow people to gain skills to add value to these natural resources that we have, we're still going to just keep looking at this river like this and the fertile land like this. So we need skills for people to start doing these things commercially.
Okay. Let's talk about the issue of resources being pumped into this region in order to enhance the skills of the people that you are claiming that are lacking. You see, when you look at the budget of government, still these regions don't receive much, yet they are regarded to be the poorest. And the statistics are there to show that these are the poorest region in terms of unemployment, the livelihoods. So, do you think it is fair in the manner in which government is distributing its resources to the regions that are really in need?
No, I think for me it boils back down to representation. If there's a cake that is on the table, which is the Namibian cake that is being distributed, representation on that table matters the most, because if you do not have a voice that speaks out for you, people will be able to actually make decisions on your behalf. So majority counts and majority always rules. So in terms of narrating us as the poorest and then still allocating us the smallest chunk of the budget, it is actually not a fair thing. And I think it's time that we have a mind change of knowing that these people that are in demand of this help really need to get the attention that they deserve. So it's time that the government starts looking at how it is that they make this food basket a reality by, availing resources that we much need. Because look at where we are now as a region that has fertile land, yet we do not even have a training facility that would be able to empower these people in knowing how it is that we work this land commercially. We have universities that are located far away from land that would probably be fertile, while we have schools here that would not actually add value to what it is that we have. So it's time that we start looking at what we actually need instead of us just getting what they think we deserve.
Okay. We have a number of green schemes in the both Kambowe East and West region as well as Zambezi, but we haven't seen the flooding of Namibian produce in even our local shops in the region. So tell us, why is that and what do you think should be done?
Well, skills is very necessary. Without skills, you will have vast amount of land, vast amount of resources without knowing how it is that you commercialize this. So skills is very much necessary. Bring institutions, empower the people, let them know how to use their hands to do commercial production, because what we currently have now is not enough at all. We need the government to start looking at how it is that, there used to be production in this region before we took over. There used to be production. There were green schemes like Vungu Vungu that were doing dairy products. There were Mashare, there were Chadikongoro. These were green schemes that were thriving. But because the skills that was there is no longer there, it's impossible for you to expect outputs that are supposed to be substantial or that are supposed to be on a commercial level. It is very, very impossible.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
All right.
Okay.
For the next week, daytime temperatures in the northeast are all in the mid-30s, although cooling somewhat towards the end of the week. While partly cloudy in most towns, rain still seems to be evasive, with the exception of Nkuru today, that despite a 37-degree high, expects showers. Extreme highs are expected in Katima, with a possibility of showers on Thursday.
Thank you for tuning into Original Review. See you tomorrow.